welcome everyone this morning. We obviously have a number of guests here today, and I'm presuming that most of you that I don't recognize are family members, so it's good to have all of you here. And let's begin with the reason why I think most of you are here, which are the introduction of new firemen, firewomen to the Lima Fire Department. So Assistant Chief Black is here to make those introductions, and I think we want to have all the new, I guess the rookies, come forward.
Everybody come forward.
All yours, Chief.
Thanks, Mayor. I want to thank everyone for coming here today. My name's Bruce Black. I'm Deputy Fire Chief at Lima Fire Department. Chief Hefner would usually be here doing this, but regrettably, he's a little under the weather today, and so he could not make it today. So he sends his regrets. We are in the process of either already have hired or in the process of hiring 8 new firefighters, which you see behind me here. These firefighters are replacing those people that have already retired, are in the process of retiring here in the next probably 6 to 18 months, that we're going to have some extensive retirements at the fire department. So the 8 firefighters that we have hired here, the first one is Eric Music. Eric, you want to come up here? Eric Music here is a graduate of Elida High School. He has an associate degree from Rhodes State College. He served in the U.S. Army for 4 years, in which he had a tour in Afghanistan and also a tour in Iraq. He also is a Purple Heart recipient, along with numerous other medals that he received while he was in the Army. Prior to coming to the Lima Fire Department, Eric worked 8 years for the Bath Township Fire Department as a full-time firefighter paramedic. The certifications he has coming into the fire department, he has his firefighter level 2 certification, his EMT paramedic certification, and also his fire safety inspector certification. So he brought a lot to us coming here from Bath Township. So first, Eric, you want to say anything?
I'm just really happy to be here. It's been a kind of a long process, and I'm glad to kind of move up to a larger city, be able to help out.
Thanks, Eric. The next employee that we hired is Matt Steinball. Matt, you want to come up? Matt here is a graduate of Walpock High School. He served a little over 4.5 years in the United States Navy as a corpsman, medical corpsman. Prior to coming to the Lima Fire Department, he also was employed by the Bath Township Fire Department, for a short period of time. Matt here also has his firefighter level 2 certification coming in, and he also is an EMT paramedic. So Matt, you want to say a few things?
Again, just excited to be here. It's good to work for a bigger city, and I think I'll have a good career here.
Thanks, Matt. The next one is Anthony Krager. Tony here is a Delphus Jefferson High School graduate. He's also has an associate degree from Rhodes State College. He's a 6-year veteran of the Ohio National Guard, in which he was deployed to Saudi Arabia, and as a part of Operation Enduring Freedom. He was employed prior to us also at the Bath Township Fire Department for approximately 6 years as a firefighter paramedic. Tony here has his firefighter level 2 certification, his EMT paramedic certification, and he's also a fire safety inspector. So Tony, would you like to say anything?
Thank you for the opportunity to work here.
All right. Thanks, Tony. Man of a lot of words. So the next one, Lucas Hastings. Lucas, he kind of took the roundabout getting here back to Lima. Lucas is a graduate of the Kenton High School over in Kenton, Ohio. Prior to being hired here at the Lima Fire Department, he was employed for 2 years for the City of Cleveland EMS. Lucas here, he also brings to the table, he has his firefighter level 2 certification, and he also has the EMT paramedic certification. So Lucas, would you like to say anything?
I'm excited for this career. I'm proud to work for and serve the city, and I know my family's proud to have me working here as well.
Thanks, Lucas. The next one I'm introduced is Scott Jacobs. Scott, you know, come up here. The first 4 I introduced, they were hired on August 29th. The next 2 I'm going to introduce, Scott Jacobs and Mark Salas, they're going to be, their first day at work will be next Monday. So Scott, he's a graduate of Cloverleaf High School. He has an associate degree from the University of Northwestern Ohio. Prior to coming to the Lima Fire Department, Scott worked for a little over 5.5 years at the Perry Township Fire Department. Scott brings his level 2 firefighter 2 certification and also his EMT paramedic certification. So Scott, you want to say anything?
Just excited and proud to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, thanks, Scott. Next one is Mark Salas. Mark here is probably the youngest one we hired. I believe Mark is 20 years old right now. Mark is a graduate of Old Fort High School. He's been a volunteer at the Ballville Volunteer Fire Department, which is right outside of Fremont, Ohio. Mark brings his, he has his firefighter level 2 certification, and he also has his EMT basic certification. So, Mark, would you like to say anything?
I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm ready to learn.
All right, thanks, Mark. The next 2 employees that we're hiring, they will start in February coming up. The reason why their hire dates are a little bit later is neither one of them have any firefighter or EMT certifications yet, so we will be sending them to the Ohio Fire Academy for firefighter level 2 and EMT basic certifications, and because of scheduling with the Fire Academy, we have to wait until February to start their employment. The first one is Emily Bowser. Emily here is a Lima Senior High School graduate. She is also has her bachelor's degree in psychology from Taylor University. And for the last 4 years, she's worked at Bittersweet Farms, which works with people that have autism. So, Emily, we're glad to have you on. Do you have anything to say?
Public service is in my blood, so I'm excited to be here, excited to learn from and serve with everyone in the department.
Thanks, Emily. The last one is Jordan Pugsley. Jordan is a Lima Senior High School graduate. Jordan, he also attended, after high school, he attended the University of Toledo and also the University of Cincinnati. And if he looks a little bit familiar, his father is also Warren Pugsley, who's one of our fire safety inspectors. So, Jordan, if you have anything to say.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I'm happy to be able to serve my city that I grew up in, and I'm happy to follow my father's footsteps.
All right. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
All right, Tony. Tony Geiger here, he's the law director with the city of Lima. He will be giving the oath of office to all 8 of our new employees.
Chief, thank you. If I can just say a word or two before I swear everybody in, it's nice to see another Pugsley join the force. Hopefully he'll do as well as his dad did. And I'm very happy to see that we have another Tony working for the city of Lima now. That's a good name as well. I was thinking that it's kind of a gloomy day in a bit with the weather out there, raining as it is, but on second thought, it would seem to me that firefighters like rainy days because they help put out fires. So in that sense, it's a very good day. Of course, it's a very good day because we're able to swear in all of these fine young men and women. Over the last year, maybe 2 years, the fire department has been to my neighborhood probably about 4 or 5 times now. And the interesting thing is that they're not there to put out fires. They're there because one of my neighbors has a health issue and has to call for medical services on an emergency basis several times over the last couple of years. And it strikes me that in today's day and age, we as citizens now are more likely to see these ladies and gentlemen helping us in medical conditions, perhaps more so than traditional firefighting conditions. So it's really kind of sobering when you stop and think that as some of us get older, Mr. Bowser, I see you back there in the audience. I won't point you out, but as some of us get older, including myself, obviously, as my wife reminds me, their medical duties become more and more paramount and more important to the community. So I'm really excited that so many of our people are already licensed for that activity and soon will be as well. So I'm going to have you guys as a group kind of move over this way a little bit so you can get the optics. We'll swear you in here. We'll ask you all to raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Do hereby solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States.
The Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio.
Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio.
And the Charter and ordinances of the City of Lima, Ohio.
And the Charter and ordinances of the City of Lima, Ohio.
And that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially perform the duties of my office as firefighter for the City of Lima, Ohio. Congratulations. You all have to sign your oaths.
I want to say something real quick. We hired these 8 new employees off of the civil service exam that was given approximately, it was late last year, early this year, and this was one of the first civil service exam that was very, very competitive. So these, I believe, were the cream of the crop of the civil service exam, and we're glad to have them on board. So thanks, everybody, for coming to see your friend or family member take the oath of office. Thanks.
Congratulations. I'll just add a comment. When Chief Hefner championed the reorganization of the fire department several years ago, which included the rollout of additional ambulance service in our community, he recognized at the time that we were going to have to substantially increase the skill set for the fire folks, firemen and firewomen that were being hired by the city. We simply didn't have enough of the paramedics and others trained, and though we started providing that service, it became very clear that we were taxing the energies of those that were in the department. So I really believe that, as you've seen, we need to apologize to Bath Township and Chief Kitchen for stealing a bunch of their talent, but obviously we're prepared to continue to provide what I think is really an exceptional level of service to our community with our ambulance responses. Very clearly, the community appreciates the professionalism and, frankly, the capabilities of the Lima Fire Department. And these new folks add to that and really mean that we'll be able to sustain that over the long term. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Good to have you. Diane Bishop is here with information about the levy that will be on the ballot for the elderly services in our community. Diane, you want to come up? Chuck, are you also? Okay. Diane?
Thank you, Mayor Berger. Congratulations to new firepersons. My name is Diane Bishop, and I work with the Allen County Council on Aging, one of 4 agencies that share revenue within the county for senior services. And as Mr. Geiger mentioned, older, well, that ties exactly into what we do with senior citizen services, levy revenue in Allen County. And again, thank you, Mayor Berger, for allowing just a few minutes of information on a county-wide ballot issue. We are on the ballot November 3rd for Allen County Senior Citizen Services, shared very importantly by 4 agencies, so that we are able to reach thousands more seniors, actually. By 2020, we will have 24.8% of Allen County residents age 60 and older. The services are provided by Delphus Senior Citizens, Bluffton Senior Citizens, Senior Citizen Services on West Elm Street, and the Council on Aging. We provide any type of service, including transportation, water aerobics for health, wellness programs, exercising for arthritis, elderly daycare center, chore program, information and referral, resource specialists. Any question you would have about senior citizen services, if we at the Council on Aging or an individual agency, Bluffton, Delphus, Senior Center on West Elm, if we don't provide that service directly, we will make sure you, your care receivers, your family members, your senior citizens in your neighborhood are hooked up with an agency that does provide the service. Most importantly, we want to inform the public, the voters, the real estate owners, how this levy is a change. We are on the ballot for a 0.5 renewal, 0.5 of a mil, plus a 0.5 increase. Now those dollars will come to us in March of 2017. And during that year, 2017, and from then out, we will no longer collect revenue from a current 0.3. So when you're looking at the ballot language, which by the way is determined by the state of Ohio, it is stated 0.5 renewal, 0.5 increase. So that 1 mil translates literally to 10 cents out of every $100 of valuation on property is set aside for senior services within the county. And then those 10 cents are shared by 4 agencies. So again, the important part of this morning is thank you for allowing one more time where we can get some information to the voter on actually what the levy ballot says, what that translates to.
On a typical $100,000 home, what would that amount to?
David asked me on a typical $100,000 value of a home per the auditor's office, Allen County Auditor's Office, it's $35 per year. So we're modest. We truly are modest, the 4 agencies, and we take it very seriously as we receive the revenue for senior services. And please, if and when you have any question whatsoever, don't hesitate to call one of those agencies. Bluffton Senior Citizens, Delphus, the Senior Center on West Elm Street, and the Council on Aging. Thank you, David. Mayor Berger.
No, Dave's fine. I'm often called worse, so. Chuck Wolfe is here from Family Promise I have a proclamation, but Chuck, you want to make some remarks first about the agency?
We'd like to welcome everybody and congratulations to the new firefighters. We have our office in the city of Lima, so it makes me secure that when one of our families might need help, we have competent and professional people to help them. My name is Chuck Wolfe, Executive Director of Family Promise. Our mission is to serve homeless families. We help them find employment and housing when they come to us. Many of our families, or all of our families, come with very little clothes, absolutely no money, most of the time with no transportation. They have children, and we help them transition and transform from being homeless to finding housing. We have an 80% success rate of all the families that come to us that find housing, and we also have a 75% success rate of helping adults that come in unemployed and help them to get employed while they're with Family Promise. So we're very appreciative of the community for your support. We're a valuable service. We look at ourselves as an economic source of helping to provide jobs, helping to help people get back to be tax-paying citizens as well, contributing to the economy as well. And I'd like to introduce our board president, Bev Beery. She'd like to come up in just a few words.
Dressed a little casual today. I started out in one of the city schools this morning with a Halloween party. So anyway, thank you, Mayor Berger, for allowing us to be here today. We are, I've been on the board of Family Promise from day one. We came to Lima. It is a national network about 7 years ago. We saw a definite need because we did not have a place for families to stay together, to be taken care of. And this year, I'm president of the board, and Chuck kind of shared some of the statistics, but for me, when we talk about getting ready to celebrate and care for our 100th family, to me, that's 100 families, but that's hundreds and hundreds of children. We just had a family leave our agency. She's all excited about her new job at Lima Correctional, and we found her a lovely home on Frode Avenue. And my husband and I, we've been taking over pillows and towels and mattresses and whatever, but she had 6 children. So that's one family, but with 6 children. So for me, it's all about the kids. And what I notice, you've heard the phrase, blessed to be a blessing. We involve 12 churches in the community, and the families leave our agency at the end of the day, and they go to the churches. And the churches show them radical love and Christian hospitality. And we network with the children. We have a mentoring program. We have children enrichment programs. We have nutrition programs. We have financial programs for these families. So it's more than just putting a roof over their head and feeding them. So I'm proud of what we offer in the Lima community, and we always appreciate the community support.
The Family Promise really is an important collaboration between our churches and social services in our community. And it's in the context of celebrating their network and the effective way in which they do their work that I offer the following proclamation. Whereas the issue of family homelessness has never been more critical, with homeless families now comprising nearly 40% of the homeless population. 1 out of every 45 American children will experience homelessness this year. Whereas Family Promise, founded in Summit, New Jersey in 1986 on the belief that people are compassionate and want to make a difference, has grown into a national nonprofit organization mobilizing communities and existing resources to help homeless families achieve and sustain independence by providing help, hope, and a safe haven as they seek suitable employment and housing. And whereas Family Promise of Lima and Allen County opened its doors in 2008 and is one of over 192 affiliates in 41 states, providing shelter, meals, and case management services for homeless families with children. And whereas Family Promise mobilizes more than 160,000 volunteers and 6,000 congregations across the country. And locally, a group of 10 or 12 houses of worship provide rooms for overnight shelter, and the services of over 500 volunteers have been utilized, and last year accounted for over 19,000 volunteer hours. And whereas Family Promise provided shelter and social services to more than 50,000 people last year, with nearly 60% of them being children. And in our community, over the last 5 years, Family Promise has provided shelter to 100 families. And whereas Family Promise is recognized as the leading volunteer-driven nonprofit providing shelter to homeless families, and on average, 80% of the families securing housing within 8 weeks, helping them to achieve sustainable independence. Now, therefore, I, David J. Berger, Mayor of the City of Lima, to hereby proclaim the week of October 26th through, actually the month of October 26th through November 21st as Family Promise Month in the City of Lima, in celebration of the 8th anniversary for Family Promise and in recognition of the 100 families served by Family Promise since its inception in 2008. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the city this day of October 2015. Bev, Chuck, thank you for your work. Saul Allen is here from the Street Department to provide an update on our leaf pickup initiatives this fall.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Lima. Congratulations to all the new firefighters. Welcome aboard. Special welcome to all those that are not familiar with Lima. Welcome aboard. City of Lima's Street Department in particular will begin its leaf pickup on November 9th. Once again, that's November 9th. That week, we will ask that the 4th, 5th, and 6th, 4th, 5th, 1st, 4th, 5th, and 6th, 1st, 4th, 5th, and 6th wards begin to bring their leaves to the curb, not to the street, and just in case I didn't forget, just in case I forgot, not in the street, please. Once again, and I sort of kid about that, but just like days like today, when we started to get a lot of leaves down, biggest issue we start to have is leaves in the catch basin. And really right now I got 4 guys, that's all they're doing today, is cleaning off catch basins, where we've, just from last night's rain and wind, that we've had catch basins, just the tops, clogged with leaves. So I sort of kid about it, but once again, we would like to avoid as many of those leaves into the catch basins as possible. The pickup in the 2nd, 3rd, and 7th ward will follow as we can finish those other first wards. And as always, the city tries to do 2 pickups. We usually try to get the first one done by Thanksgiving and begin the 2nd pickup by that Monday following Thanksgiving. But with that being said, all that is weather dependent. If we start to get the S word, meaning snow, we all change and move into a different activity. The snow removal becomes our #1 priority. So anything I say as far as times, is weather dependent. I will be trying to give updates on the mayor's press conference on a weekly basis, if not the press conference, also through the media as well. We're asking that if you don't want to wait, depending on what ward you are in, you do not want to wait for us to come around, feel free. Bags are now available. Leaf bags are available now to be picked, to put your leaves in, and put your leaves, once you bag them, put them out with the normal trash pickup day. So if you don't want to wait, you think we're going to take too long, that's fine, feel free. All you do have to show is some type of proof of residency. Usually it's a water bill, and you can pick up bags. Those bags are available at my office, 900 South College Street, and also at the old train depot water payment center over on Central. You can also pick bags up at that location as well. Always a reminder that this is leaf pickup. This is not limb pickup. This is not brush pickup. We occasionally do get piles of leaves and brush. Those piles are usually bypassed. Biggest thing is this is leaf only. The equipment that we're using cannot pick up those other items. If you do have brush or limbs that you want picked up, you can also put those out with your normal trash pickup. You do have to cut them into 4-foot lengths and bind them. If you don't want to do that, you also can take that stuff out to the compost site out on Hanthorne Road, so that's a possibility too. Also, make sure all leaves are free of rocks and stones and things of that nature as well. You know, same issue, the equipment we use can be damaged by those items. I think that's about it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. And lastly, this morning, the Public Works Director Howard Elstro is here with an update on the city's demolition activities.
Thank you, Mayor. As many of you know, the Department of Public Works in the city of Lima has varied and numerous tasks. Most people know that Street Division does street maintenance throughout our city. Most people know that Parks Recreation falls under our Public Works Department, as does our Engineering Division that oversees large construction projects for streets, bridges, etc. And we have a Building Department, and it is under the Building Department and the building official, Mr. Bill Brown, that one of our tasks is to attend to structurally deficient properties. That is, vacant properties that have fallen in disrepair and need to be removed. And with that, I'm updating the community that during 2015, the city of Lima has had 53 structures removed. And of those 53, the city of Lima has stepped in and done demolition activities on 22 of those. These demolitions are funded through community development block grant funds. And we had just one property that we were able to take down with an Attorney General's grant that we received a couple of years ago. The cost of demolition for those 22 properties this year is about $118,000. So it's not an insignificant amount of either work or investment that the city has done in removing these dilapidated properties. We have a continuing list of problem properties in our neighborhood, and that totals 49 at this point in time. Had we sufficient revenues, which would be about $392,000, almost $400,000, we could proceed right away with those 49 properties, but we don't. We have to find funds to demolish these. We are constantly looking for grant opportunities. We do believe that next year we will have $56,000 of block grant, and through a federal program known as Neighborhood Stabilization Program, part of the program from back in 2008, 2010, where we were using ARA, or recovery funds made available by the federal government, those funds that were set to stimulate the economy. We spent that grant, but now we are, through our law department and through the county auditor, we are now seeing some funds come back from properties that we demolished, and we have attached to either the parcels or have gone after those property owners for reimbursement to the cities for these services. So between the block grant and the NSP funds that have rolled over, we should be able to do 16 additional properties this coming year, 2016. I do want to talk about, historically, the efforts that the city has made in housing demolition beyond just this year. And I was able to pull together some statistics. From 2008 to 2015, the city has been able to see 726 properties demolished. Of that amount, of that 726, the city has stepped in and demolished 471 of those at a cost of nearly $3 million. The source of funds that the city has used over this span of time has come, as I said, from the Community Development Block Grant funds, about $940,000. From the NSP grant, the ARA funds that we were able to compete for and bring back to Lima and put to work in our neighborhoods, that was almost $1.4 million. And the Attorney General made available to us from a settlement that came out of the housing crisis of about $666,000, as well as about $7,000 of our general fund. So that all those funds together that were used come just under $3 million. It's a significant amount of money, but we're trying to address a significant problem. Any one of us who have lived next to a vacant property, a dilapidated property, knows the problems that deteriorated properties and disinvestment brings to our neighborhoods and our quality of life. It erodes the property values in our neighborhoods. It actually seems to erode your soul when you get up every morning and look at that property across your street or next door to you. You question, why should I invest in my property if others in my neighborhood aren't? So it's very, very important that we address this issue. I think of all the firemen that were here earlier today, and there too, we've removed 726 properties that were vacant, that were structurally deficient, that are prone to fires, and there's 726 properties that now do not have the potential of somebody setting on fire and our firemen having to go in and not only extinguish that, but when they arrive at a property, they do not know whether it is vacant or not. So that's 726 properties that we do not put our good men and women to at risk. So we are going to continue this effort. Again, if we had more funds, we would move more quickly. I guess the final thing to note is, notice what I said. There were 726 properties, and we took down a few more than 400. When we send out notices to property owners, oftentimes, not oftentimes, but sometimes the property owners will step up and do their due diligence and their responsibility and take that property down. We, the city, step in when property owners abdicate that responsibility. Even if they abdicate the responsibility and we step in, we still hold them accountable and responsible. So through efforts of our law director, we continue to pursue funds to recover those demolition funds that we have expended. And sometimes that means attaching liens to their primary property. At the very least, it will mean attaching liens to that parcel, and we get that over the course of subsequent years of collecting taxes. So I want to make sure that no landlord, no property owner in this community thinks that we are picking up their responsibilities. There is no free ride, and we would prefer that property owners do these demolitions themselves. Thank you.
I want to emphasize the last issue that Howard made there. More than 2/3 of these properties are owned by folks that do not live in the city. So this is something that we're pursuing for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is the safety of our neighborhoods, the need to hopefully encourage people to reinvest, but also because, frankly, we're being abused by these property owners. We want them to take care of their properties. And literally, there remains upwards of 1,000 abandoned houses in the city. So this is not an insignificant problem. You can figure it's about a $7,500 to $8,000 per house cost. So at 1,000 units, we're talking a bill of about $8 million. So it's really quite a task to stay on target. But we're doing it, and I think the fact that we've been able to do the number that we have in the last several years is truly due to the fact that we were successful in competing for state and federal money at levels that we've never had before. So we appreciate that opportunity. I believe that's all that we have for today, so we will break down for interviews. Thank you.